for those of you who are just coming out from under your rocks, there have been protests against ICE, fairly violent or fairly vigorous ones, violence, some violence, but nothing that local police officers couldn't have handled in Los Angeles, particularly, and it's exploded. And then Donald Trump, the current president of the United States, decides to send in not just the National Guard, several thousand of them, but also 700 U.S. Marine officers, Marines from Camp Pendleton, which is just 2 hours south there in San Diego. Ted, have you seen? By the way, have you seen the photos? I'm not sure who's leaking them of the. I'm making air quotes here. Always good podcasting deployment. Have you
No,
seen it?
I have
They
not.
didn't. This will give you nothing but faith and total understanding of how we have not actually won a war in what 70 years. They didn't. And sending the Marines up to Los Angeles, they didn't establish where they would sleep, how they would sleep, how would they eat, and where they would poop.
I mean, okay, maybe, I mean, we know I'm a retard, but Los Angeles does have good restaurants. Many of them. I've eaten at
Could you?
them. I can
Could you?
recommend El Coyote, one of my favorites. El
Could you
Cholo, even better.
imagine 700 Marines showing up to Shay's Foo Foo or something up there
Yeah,
in
why
Hollywood?
not?
Yeah, they deserve. I mean, sure, it's probably the best food they will have had in quite some time. But the pictures are hilarious. It's like they did not think any of this through. This was clearly Don Trump going, I think we need to make a big, beautiful statement. Hopefully, someone will get shot. Fingers crossed, because that's what he's aiming for, right? I mean, no pun intended, but that's
Mm.
what he wants. He wants this to be Kent State. You tell your story about your former governor when you were living in Ohio during the early
Yeah, so
70s.
I was a kid when this happened. Wasn't it like 1971 or
Mm-hmm.
1972?
70.
70. That's right. It was 1970. So I was 7 years old. I believe it was in May when it happened. But basically, for students at Kent State University, which is a small state, well, medium-sized state college in northeastern Ohio, sort of south of Cleveland, were protesting they weren't all protesting the Vietnam War. There was a protest against the draft and against the Vietnam War and all things establishment in general and university and college university policy. And the James Rhodes, the president, the governor of Ohio at the time, dispatched the National Guard, and he ordered them to shoot some kids to send a message that the chaos on Ohio's college campuses would no longer be tolerated.